Imagine if today was the day your idea changed someone's life. Imagine if you could help someone pay for college, help your community build a new playground, or help a child make it to that dream competition. With GoFundMe, it's all possible. GoFundMe is the world's #1 fundraising platform trusted by over 190 million people. Every week, ordinary people meet their goals and do extraordinary things. Your ideas matter. GoFundMe isn't just for emergencies. Want to raise money for your kid's soccer team or raise funds for a small business, a creative project, or event? GoFundMe helps you turn ideas into reality. And help adds up. Fundraisers you start for someone else raise up to 5 times more. So think right now, who could use your help? Change rarely comes from waiting. It comes from someone deciding, today I'll start. Don't wait for someone else to bring change. Today, start your fundraiser in just minutes at GoFundMe.com. That's GoFundMe.com to start your fundraiser. GoFundMe.com. This is a commercial message brought to you by GoFundMe.
And that's how we start off MinerTalk here on the program today. We're presented by Jack in the Box. I'm Adrian Broadus. He's Sal Montes. You know what? We are here. It is a Wednesday evening. Conference USA weeknight action. Live on Inspo Lens. Live on YouTube. Live on Twitter and X. Again, big shout out to Jack in the Box, our title sponsor here on MinerTalk. Check us out, Jack in the Box, open 24/7, 365 because cravings don't have a curfew with Jack in the Box. Also brought to you in part by Boomy Dental. I'm rocking the El Paso Roots t-shirt right now. Brought to you in part by New Start Homes. 915 Tours. I'm rocking the 915 Tours MinerTalk hat right now. We've given out some of these already. Appreciate all the love for all of our giveaways that we've had as of late, and we are super appreciative of our great friends over at 915 Tours for hopping on board with these hats. Special thanks to Thomas Adams Apparel. You could stand out with Thomas Adams Apparel with hats, polos, hoodies, quarter zips, and more. They helped actually create these hats, so big shout out to Thomas Adams Apparel. Check them out online, thomasadamsapparel.com. Paying the bills first, and let's get to UTEP now. You know, I do this, and I've done this with Sal since 2019, and I do this almost as a rite of passage. Like, my grandfather played for UTEP. He was a professor at UTEP. He played offensive line with the Miners. He won a Sun Bowl with the Miners, by the way, in the 50s. So, grandfather played for the Miners. Dad was a lifelong Miner fan, so naturally I grew up watching all the UTEP football games. So this was like the rite of passage, right? Like doing MinerTalk, covering this team for as long as I've had, 10 years. This is year 10, covering UTEP football and UTEP athletics. This goes down there as one of the toughest home losses to ever witness in person. Just 9,000 fans in attendance for a Wednesday game. Wednesdays are tough. I get it, right? Okay, take that aside. Offense looked anemic. 6 straight possessions, not counting the interception at the end of the first half where they went 3 and out, going into the fourth quarter with just 66 total yards of offense, being outscored 19-0 going into the fourth quarter when, the game was over. It was not a close game at all. Offense played horrible. Before the game, you had these antics. Okay, you got, Skylar Locklear in as a starting quarterback over Malachi Nelson, the prize decorated recruit that hasn't worked out here over the last couple weeks. And you're gonna roll the dice and you're gonna say, okay, let's do it. Let's roll out with Skylar Locklear. And then after just 2-3 series, back to Malachi Nelson. Didn't work out there. Didn't work out with Locklear. Didn't work out with Nelson tonight. Didn't work out with anybody. The offense was horrible. Horrible offense. Defense continues to show up week in, week out. This team, I'm done. I'm waving the white flag. I'm out on the 2025 season. I'm out. I'm out on this team, Sal. And tonight was a prime indication as to why.
It's like each game gets tougher to watch at this point. I don't even think it's a matter of skill anymore. Even though, let's say you just line them up with Sam Houston, skill on par or not, doesn't matter. It's not that far off, but they're just not even in it, man. You see the body language of this team, see the body language of some others on the sidelines, and it's like, to me, when I look at it, especially on national TV, Twitter, it's all over too, but people were mentioning how checked out this team looked. You know, like they couldn't wait for this game to be over, kind of just going through the motions, and it was disgraceful. That's to say the least.
It really was. And, you know, I don't feel bad for the fans, because if you're going to a weeknight Wednesday game, UTEP taking on Liberty, you know what you're getting into. You know exactly what you're getting yourself into, okay? I don't feel bad for the offense, because the offense has had its chances. You know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for the defense, and I feel bad for the seniors and the graduate players who are on this team playing their final year of college football. That's what I feel bad for, because the defense is showing up. Like, Micah Davey is trying his ass off at the linebacker position. Jaden Wilson is growing in front of our eyes from Austin High School at the linebacker spot as well. Like, he's filling in for a role that he shouldn't have been in really this year. I mean, he was going to play this year, right? Jaden Wilson, Austin High School standout, transferred over from New Mexico, playing for the Miners now, his hometown team. He was going to play no matter what, but he was thrown into a starting role after Garrett Hawkins and Joshua Rudolph out for the year due to injuries, right? Like, these guys were going to play, no doubt about guys like Jaden Wilson was going to play, no doubt about it. But, you know, for him to finish off with a career-high 16 tackles tonight, Neil Campbell, the way he's playing, you're taking a year of Neil Campbell for granted. I was watching him closely tonight. He only allowed one catch against the receiver he was going up against, played outstanding football, and that catch was early in the fourth quarter. Other than that, finishes the day with 14 total tackles. Micah Davey, 12 total tackles and a tackle for loss. They're getting play from some of these guys. I feel bad for those guys. Like, those are the guys I feel for right now. I feel for some of the graduate players who haven't had a chance to step foot on the field, and I feel for the players on this team who had higher hopes for this season. But, Sal, that's where we start off Miner Talk. I went into the year trying to hush those high expectations, but the expectations went higher than I ever thought, from the national media, from local fans, from fans all over the country, from fans who don't even root for UTEP but jumped on board of the Scotty Walden train. And look at what's going on right now. They are 1-4. They are reeling. They've lost 4 straight. They look bad. Tonight, or last week against La Tech, was a bad offensive output. Against Louisiana Monroe, okay, they tried to rally back in the fourth quarter, right? Threw up some garbage time touchdowns. But you can make an argument that over these 3 games, where they had to win at least 2 of these 3 in a home stretch, they have played and regressed. And even head coach Scotty Walden agreed today in the post-game interview with John Teicher. They have regressed offensively. What's next, Sal? What's next with this team?
You mentioned he doesn't have any answers or clues as to why some of the things are happening, like missed assignments. It goes deeper than just what's wrong, right? It's kind of like, okay, how do you correct it? What's wrong with what is wrong, so to speak? It's like they're not moving. That's what's wrong. Okay, why are they not moving? There's missed assignments. There's timeouts being called when they shouldn't need to be called. And now you can't afford a situation down the line where you need one of those timeouts anymore, because the preparation, if it's not the preparation, it's the lack of execution for simple decisions. Forget plays. Get the right personnel out on the field. And I think that's the big difference. You look across the field, Jamie Chadwell, he was fighting for his job today, and he might be fighting for his job for some of these other Conference USA teams. It's more baffling when you think about how bad Conference USA this year. It's like Conference USA has gotten worse and worse, while UTEP has gotten worse and worse throughout those years. You would think, like, hey, competition is kind of, it's diminishing each year. You have a chance, and this season so far, it's like their chances of winning a game are diminishing against that very competition, who is at the extremely bottom tier in Division I college football, or FBS. Maybe top tier, middle of the pack FCS, if we want to compare it somewhere, because that's who this league is. Let's be real. There's 2 or 3 original FBS members within the last 10 years, and for what?
I mean, I can't even answer that one
I don't
right
even
there.
know, man.
It's historically bad football, and it's a really bad football conference. Our telephone number, 915-505-6009. I appreciate Chris from Inspo Lens. We are live, YouTube, Twitter, and X. You can watch us right now. Had a couple people like Peter who messaged me on Twitter and X a clip of myself reacting to the post-game interview. Oh, man. Yeah, I think we'll leave those reactions raw and unfiltered, or unedited, I should say. Let's go to the phones, though. Let's just jump into it. Our telephone number, 915-505-6009. Ronnie is going to get us started here on the phone lines as we get going here on the program. Ronnie, good evening. It's Wednesday night. It's past your bedtime. It's past my bedtime. Yet we are here tonight talking UTEP football.
Guys, it's October 8th. And here we are yet again, waiting on basketball season to start and throwing the towel in on the Miners. Like, man, what the hell are we doing, guys? Like, we need to just look in the mirror and really assess athletics at the university as a whole, from leadership all the way down. This is just not a good look, man. Like this is just not a good look, right? Like, we knew last year that Skyler wasn't really good enough to take us to that next level, right? So you go and get Malachi. Well, this guy hasn't started or had success anywhere. Like, there's not one school this guy's went to and had success and started. I mean, at this point, I don't know if this guy could – I don't know where he could send this guy where he has success. And it's like, to listen to Scotty act like, we still got 5 more games or 6 more games, whatever it is, and it's not over, and we just got to keep fighting and the same blah, blah, blah. But it's like, come on, dude. Like, these are college kids. Do you think they believe that? I mean, he had 4 turnovers last week, 2 tonight. I mean, do you really believe that these kids believe that? Like, I mean, we live in a portal era now where you either go and get yours and get out, or you're not good enough, and the coach has to basically put you out there and go get somebody. Like, there is no such thing as let's just be fighting and it's going to work itself out, and I got to go back to the drawing board. Either the guys you have are good enough, and somebody else at a higher level wants them because you're winning and they're doing what they're supposed to do, or they're not good enough and you're losing and nobody wants them, including yourself. I mean, that's just the reality of college sports. Like, the whole, we got to, at our jobs, so we got to just put our nose to the grind and, the whole cliche of whatever you want to say. Come on, dog. That's dead after week 3. You either got some dudes on the roster or you got some duds on the roster. It's as simple as that. So,
and I just don't think, Ronnie, offensively they have it. Like, you can make the injury excuses all you want, but this offseason, this coaching staff, this team was adamant that they had depth, that they had skill position players that were going to take a level up from last year. And look at what the output has been through these last 3 games offensively, right? Like, you're coming from behind in garbage time against Louisiana Monroe. You put up 11 points against La Tech and 8 tonight against Liberty. Like what? Make that make sense.
We don't even have a quarterback yet, guys. We're still in year 2 of the Scotty Walter era, and we don't have a guy that we say, okay, this is the guy that's going to be Scotty's quarterback. He can die on his heel for the rest of his duration of his contract. He doesn't even have that guy yet. And that, to me, is what's scary, because I know you got to bring all these other pieces together, and that takes time. But, dude, you're going into what will be year 3 next year, which should be the contract extension year. You should at least have your guy in place that's proven to us, proven to you, proven to the fans, that you can say, okay, this is my guy. Whether you extend me, don't extend me, let me go, buy me out, I'm going to die on this hill. He doesn't have that guy in place behind center, and that, to me, is the scariest thing. And I want to be very clear. I have no problem taking my lumps. I thought Scotty was the guy. I was excited about it. I was fully on board with it. But I was wrong, and I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. I was clearly wrong. I would like this coaching staff, I would like this administration to also come out and say they were wrong, and that what he did at Austin Peay is not translating, or maybe the league was too big of a jump. I don't know what this teaches, but it's just not. It's not the same here. It's not the same. And we saw this last year when obviously he brought a predominantly large portion of his players, and they just could not get it done. And like Saul said, not so great. Now be nice, CUSA League, and here we are. We still don't have the guy. Think about this, guys. I hate to even admit this on the air, but I'm a huge sports bettor, and I took the Miners tonight, so shame on me. But do you know in the 4 CUSA games this week, every single road team is the favorite? Like, that's how bad this conference is. Every single road team in the 4 CUSA games this week, the road team is the favorite. It's like, if you can't win in this league, your home games. So to hear Taish and his counterparts say, the Miners got to get out of town and eliminate distractions. What distractions, dude? The ones in your head? What distractions are we talking about? Because like, there's not much going on that's distracting you from playing a solid brand of football. Like, we just don't have the guys. Like, if we're really saying, hey, the best thing for the Miners to do right now is get out of town, go sleep in a hotel bed somewhere, eat some crappy continental breakfast, travel across the state. If that's our solution, we need to go back to the drawing board from administrators all the way down, because clearly no team has ever said that's going to get us right? People are usually dying to have a home game, to sleep in their own bed, to eat in their own cafeteria or whatever it may be, their own nutritionist. But to say we got to get out of town and we got to sleep in these crappy hotel beds and eat this crappy food and travel across the country or across the state to eliminate distractions, like, dude, this is El Paso. This ain't freaking Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where it's just party nonstop and we're a top, 5 program in the country. Distractions to keep these guys from getting in the playbook, getting in the weight room, and playing with some pride and some true emphasis.
No, that's a really good point. No, and you deserved it, Ronnie. You deserved the long rant. Anybody who puts money on UTEP on a weeknight game like this deserves a long rant here on the program. Appreciate your phone call, man. Thank you for weighing in. Thank you for calling in late with us. I hear your frustrations, and you, like a lot of other Miner fans out there, were very disappointed in the loss of words. But Sal, all the road teams favorite in CUSA. I'm looking at it right now. La Tech favorite against Kennesaw tomorrow. Same with Jacksonville State, favorites on the road against Sam Houston. 0-5, by the way, in Houston, and that's UTEP's opponent next week. And then tonight, Missouri State favorites against Middle Tennessee, and they won. That's an FCS program making the jump to FBS. And oh, by the way, UTEP goes on the road and takes on Missouri State later this year.
And guess what? It's going to get even worse, because there's a team that's better than number 1 of the newcomer being Missouri State, that being Delaware. Delaware lost because their kicker can't make a field goal, but they already have if I'm not mistaken, a conference win already. And if they don't, that's who the Miners got to close out the season against on the road as well. This isn't at home, so I don't know, man. I just don't see anything game to game that makes me think that they can overcome their shortcomings. It's like we discover a new flaw game by game, and that's really saddening, man.
No, that's a good point. I'm totally with you on that one. 915-505-6009. That's our telephone number. 600 ESPN El Paso, Twitter and X, 600 ESPNElPaso.com. Let's go to George. He's next up with us. George, thank you for joining us late here on the program. George, go ahead. You're on with us here on MinerTalk.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you guys? Great to be on the show again. This time as a caller.
Hey, this is George Wahardo. Our boy George Wahardo. What's going on? Friend of the program. Arizona's finest right now in Phoenix. Former member here with us on MinerTalk. Former intern with us at 600 ESPN El Paso.
George of the Miner Jungle.
Ah, there he is. George of the Miner Jungle.
It feel like a jungle. No, guys, I really just want to echo a lot of what Ronnie said, but I'm kind of going to dig into the stats here. What a horrible game. We touched on the offense. There was at one point 5 straight 3-and-outs where they ran 18 plays for 20 yards. You guys do the math about how many yards they're averaging per play there. Just completely stagnant. It's a dead offense. For the reasons that you said, they're missing assignments. They're not securing blocks, right? They can't seemingly run routes properly either. And so it's just tough. It's the biggest letdown, I think, considering what you guys said about the defense, the seniors, and everything that we've got going on at UTEP, right? All the dynamics there. And Walden's supposed to be an offensive guy, right? He's supposed to get this thing rolling. And he just hasn't. In a year and a half here in what now we're at 18 games now under Walden. He just hasn't. 4 wins. And you can argue that every single one, maybe not that Texas game, every single one of these wins on this, every single one of, these games on the schedule were winnable. And they're 1-5. Just totally discombobulated offense. And yeah, I think that there's more to it here. There's some fundamental institutional problems that go all the way up to President Wilson. Sorry if I'm dropping her name, but I think they got to look in the mirror. President Wilson and athletic director Jim Center got to take a long look in the mirror and see if they have any integrity to hold themselves accountable for this disaster that has become UTEP sports across the board, but particularly in football.
No doubt.
And so I'm not going to rant as long as Rodney did. I really respect that. I pretty much agree with everything he said. But going 5 straight 3-and-outs with 20 yards is just simply not good enough in this Conference USA conference. And I just really want to hear the nitty-gritty about why y'all think this offense is so bad.
Hey, man, I appreciate your phone call, George. As always, it's great to hear your voice. We got to give you our hotline number so you can just call the hotline whenever you want and then, join us at any point here on MinerTalk. But appreciate you in a big way, George Wilhardo, joining us on the program. And Sal, he asks us, well, what's the real problem with UTEP's offense? What's the real reason? And at the end of this one, head coach Scotty Walden was dumbfounded. He was like, I have no words. I thought we had a great game plan in place, and we had a lot of missed assignments, lack of execution, and maybe it is a little bit of pressing, right? Maybe it is a little bit of UTEP kind of realizing, we're down. We haven't had success. We got to, put together some offense in order to have some kind of success, and felt like they blinked. And it was the second quarter, and they were down 10-0, and it felt like they blinked, and it was the end of the third quarter, and they were down 19-0. But it's inexcusable for an offense not to score points, to put up more yards, to have that many 3-and-outs like they did in this game. I would say this: it's a bit of the play calling that's just not conducive to the personnel that's out there, and then on the other side, it's a mental thing. Whatever you want to say, if it's a hurdle that they're trying to endure right now while they're flip-flopping quarterbacks and not having continuity there, or if it's just the offense kind of having that pressing mentality and getting so stressed, so worried, so anxious that they get tight in these big moments and can't execute.
Ah, man, it's like an onion. The more you peel back, it's like the juicier it gets. So I think off top, I'll name a couple things because there's so much wrong with it. But number one, lack of execution, right? Guys not being in position in the first place, incorrect personnel. And now that's one part. Now let's just say they are, mentally prepared and they're doing their job there. Now it goes to the next question: is ethic? Is that work ethic going to be there? It's not there right now. Don't see it. Now let's say the work ethic is there. The other team can work just as hard as you, but are you as talented as them, or are they more talented than you? So I think it comes down to lacks of execution is because the guys are not prepared when they get out there. There's too much going on. And when they are finally able to get a playoff, the other team's already there. They know what's coming. UTEP is being predictable right now. There's a whole lot, Adrian, but I think it's lack of skill and a team that is not mentally tough, And
Fair.
That all comes down to the coaching staff too. If these are the guys that you're putting out there that are not executing, but you're consistently, trying to put a square, in a round hole, what about that depth that we're talking about then? At what point are we going to see some more of that? Or is it because you don't believe those guys are up to the standard of what you want to put out there? And if that is the case, what is all that depth talk about in the first place?
For next year, or for the transfer portal, or like for a Mountain West schedule that's going to lend itself much more difficult than this year's schedule, especially this run right here. You had Louisiana Monroe at home, you had La Tech at home, you had Liberty at home, and you went 0 for 3. Like, we were talking before this, after the Texas game, wow, can they steal 2 of 3 and put themselves in a real position for a bowl game? Can they win 1 of 3 and just put themselves in a good position going into the month of October? They go 0 for 3. That's just the reality. I mean, that's what has to set in if you're a UTEP right now. 915-505-6009. Jake is going to join us next on the program. We just freed up one phone line. Give us a call if you want to join us here on the program. 915-505-6009.
Sure, who's it?
Hey, I got you, Sal. I got you on the mic. There you go. No worries. Jake is going to join us next here on the program. Jake, good evening, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Adrian? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Jake, what did you think of this game?
Not to be hyperbolic or anything, but I've seen enough. It's if you back up into a car in a parking lot once, you got unlucky. If you do it again, you're a bad driver. And I've seen enough of the Scotty Walden play calling era. It's pretty abysmal, man. And to hear him say that he liked his game plan and hear him talking about bowl games it's just like embarrassing. Like, if I was a defensive player for UTEP, I'd be livid. It's so stagnant, running the ball on 3rd and long when we get no push up front. It's horrendous. And honestly, it goes back to what the guys were saying earlier about firing center. It's the UTEP athletic program's really got to look itself in the face and really question what they've been doing the past couple of years. They could have had Mac Leftwich. They could have, gone in the right direction, and they just gone in the wrong direction. And one thing I'll say that's it's a joke, but it's true. If I was Scotty Walden in the UTEP program, I would drive down to Viscount, try to rob the GCU bank, and back up the Brinks truck to convince Jake Fetty to forego his stay at Arizona State and come to UTEP.
Honestly, let's just be real right here, Jake. Because I'm laughing back here, but let's be honest, right? Would any quarterback flip make a difference? Like, I don't know. I honestly, this 2025 offense might not be conducive to any quarterback that's on that roster right now, including Cade McConnell, including Shea Smith, including Chad Warner, the freshman who hasn't, obviously seen the field at all this year. But I don't know if any of these quarterbacks can have success in an offense that is ran like what it was today. I mean, no running attack whatsoever. They tried to dig deep with a couple different players, like throwing Marquez Taylor out there, throwing, of course, Hassan Wilson got the start, but Ashton Emery on short yardage situations, and then even Elijah McCoy, the true freshman, got nothing out of the run game. Like, does the quarterback make even a difference? Like, all jokes aside with Jake Fetty?
I mean, it's just like would change or help. Like, I can't believe what we're watching, honestly. And it's crazy because back in the center and the Sean Kugler days, it's our defense that was always abysmal and that our offense could get going. Of course, it helps having an NFL running back on the team, so on and so forth. But it's just like you could ask any middle schooler that plays NCAA, hey, sir, it's 3rd and 6. What's the play call? All of them would say, we're not running the ball. But Scotty Walden, he's insisting on running the ball on 3rd and long. It drives me insane. I'm just like, what are you watching in film?
Agreed. Jake, spot on, man. I appreciate your phone call, man. Thank you for weighing in. Thanks for calling in here on the program with us here on a late night and for voicing your opinions on UTEP football. Liberty defeats UTEP 19-8. We're presented by Jack in the Box. Let's keep it moving. 915-505-6009. A couple more callers to get to. Aaron and then Brian. We just freed up a phone line. If you've been trying to weigh in, give us a call now, 915-505-6009. Aaron, joining us from Phoenix, Arizona. What's going on, Aaron?
Hey, Adrian, appreciate you having me on the show. Just want to say you guys are doing a great job covering the game and providing some news for the UTEP football team. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Just, as frustrated as everybody else can be with the performance of our team, I want to try to keep it positive. It's Scotty's second year with the program, so you always want to give a coach 4 years. But I don't even know if he makes it through the 3rd year. Obviously, you can't fire him in the 2nd year. Still trying to get things figured out. Totally get that. As far as our players go, defense always looks pretty good. They held up pretty well today. Offensively, like this is the second game where Coach Walding goes in post-game interview with John Teich and says that he has no answers. He's speechless, and that's not really a lot of confidence coming from your head coach when he says that back-to-back weeks. Honestly, the play calling is not the greatest, but at the same time, I really think it comes down to our players. I mean, if Davis Jr. makes that catch, oh my God, that turns the game around in the third quarter.
But does it? Does it, Jake? Was the game really that close?
Yeah, when our defense holds the other team to one touchdown, and we score at least one touchdown in the third quarter, late third quarter, maybe that turns the game around with our defense, how they held up, and they didn't allow a single point in the fourth quarter. I think it turns it around. But
what? But then what? It's a close game, just like quote unquote a close game, like these Louisiana Monroe La Tech finishes, and then they're proud of their fight at the end of the game. Like something's like it's got to be wins or losses to me, Aaron. That's the only way I'm judging them.
No, absolutely. It does come down to wins and losses. I just don't think we have the talent right now. To be fair, call it what it is. Nelson doesn't look good. Locklear, he has some bright spots here and there, but overall, our offensive line couldn't provide any time for our quarterback to make a read or make a throw. Obviously, couldn't run the football. And then receiving, if Odom doesn't make that one-handed grab, I mean, that we probably don't score a touchdown tonight. I think that, like the previous caller said, I think it goes from the administration and above. I think Jim Center needs to be looked at for his hiring decisions. I just, again, trying to keep it positive, and I know we're talking football here. I just want to give a quick shout out to our volleyball team who's receiving some votes nationally, so not all bad at UTEP, but yeah, as far as football goes, not looking good.
Good job, Aaron. Appreciate your phone call. Shout out UTEP Volleyball, Sal. 25th in RPI so far, receiving votes in the top 25. And, yeah, definitely the talk of the town when it comes to UTEP athletics. Shout out to that volleyball squad.
Oh, for sure. And on Sports Talk today, they had Ben Wallace, the UTEP volleyball coach, and just down the road from us, another amazing volleyball coach in Mike Jordan. So it's funny. If you talk about Eastern Conference basketball in the NBA, hey, Ben Wallace and Mike Jordan are going to be in El Paso, and they're going to be in Las Cruces. What? No way. Oh, but you got to wait 20 years, and it's volleyball. There
you go. I love it. Ben Wallace, Mike Jordan, and his volleyball. I love it. Good stuff, Sal. I like that creativity right there. Chris, the reason why I just got an email from our tech guy, and we've actually had some issues at the station. So if you had something drop, I don't think we're going to have anything else drop after that, but yeah, we just got an email company-wide that we had a little internet issue, so appreciate you, Chris. Thank you for continuing here on the program with us here. We are live YouTube, we are live in Spolens, we are live here on Twitter and X here as we continue. 915-505-6009, our telephone number. Brian's next up with us. Brian, good evening, man. Liberty defeats UTEP 19-8. Give me your thoughts.
Hey, B, how are you and the crew doing?
Hanging in, Brian, hanging in. How are you?
I don't blame you. I'm not going to go on as much of a tangent as many other callers have, but there are so many factors that you can blame on this loss, like I mentioned last week and all that. Atrocious play calling, anemic offense, and even though our defense will hold on, it doesn't matter in the end when they just falls apart at the end. And, this stems back to the quarterback issue. Nelson is not the caliber quarterback that we thought he was, and it's evident in how he plays in the last 4 for 10 with only minimal yards compared to Locklear. And even Locklear is not at the level of Division I quarterback that we would need and all that. Think of the good UTEP teams we had, like when we had Jameel Showers, Gavin Hardison, and Calvin Brownholtz. Those weren't bad teams. But when you had inconsistent quarterback mix, you had teams like 2017 and 2018 UTEP. And overall, it was just quite bad, to say the least. And this is something I'm going to mention to Sal. I spent over $50 today on parking and on concessions. And, dude, it's really unaffordable for a lot of us. And many of my fellow students were complaining about it, which we shouldn't be taking blame because we decided to come on Wednesday after all. But it's just really disappointing that for us younger students, we want to see a good product, but yet it hasn't really shown up. Shout out to volleyball, Peckout Club Memorial. They're doing great, but I don't know what else to tell you, Adrian. Just pure disappointment at this point.
Wow, $50 parking and concessions. Woof. That was the biggest takeaway I had from that call, Sal.
You know what? I'm glad you brought up the parking and stuff, and as far as spending money, like that's a lot of money. But also too, we're saying this because the team is 1-5. So let's just say, let's flip it around, 5-1. Hey, you spent $50 in consent. You feel a little bit better. However, it's still an amount that you got to spend. But I do want to correct something that I mentioned on the previous Miner Talk, and I was saying they got to do something about these tickets. I got to give them credit, man. They slashed the prices in half for this game. Who cares how the game went? We were talking about that last week, and I was complaining specifically about it, and they did it. So props to them at least.
Keith from Winnipeg is joining us next. We have not talked to Keith from Winnipeg in maybe a year, but he is back. He is back, and he's back with a vengeance. He's here on Miner Talk with us. We're presented by Jack in the Box. Keith joining us all the way out in Winnipeg. What's going on, my man?
Well, I was having a great day until I watched UTEP football today, unfortunately.
Me too.
I was actually, yeah. I mean, I'm just going to make this real quick. It's actually almost midnight here. I'll just enjoy listening to you guys. You know, it's like this. This is the worst UTEP football team, I think, in the history of UTEP football. I don't even think it even comes close. And the game tonight was disgusting. Now, if that's not a representation of the coaching staff, then I have no idea what it is. I mean, those players, some of those players that were on the field, and I mean, so like 3 years ago, we could say we shouldn't talk down to the players. These are just kids. But when you now in the modern day NCAA sports, when they're considered semi-professional, I can call some of these kids out. It doesn't really. I mean, some of them are young adults. Their effort was disgusting. And then that might even be too good to even say on a player's behalf, because they actually might not even be that good as what I like. I mean, I haven't watched them practice 24/7. Let's be honest. But I would think a 5-star quarterback at one point should maybe put a little bit of a bet. He just doesn't look very good. He looks disinterested. He's not a leader. And whoever gave him that 5-star quarterback should apologize to him, because he's labeled as a bust. And I mean, I have no idea what's going on with that quarterback going back and forth. I mean, you watch the broadcast. I think they were even surprised. Even the first play of the game, they're like, oh, wait a minute, he's not even in the game right now. I think that this coach fed this AD a bunch of lines to get him the job. That last caller, the 2 callers ago, they're saying you can't fire him now. No, he's done. You're going to the Mountain West, and all I'm going to do is leave you with this, UTEP fans, is that there's one coach that I think that we can get, and that's Bobby Petrino. He is currently head coach of Arkansas, and he won't be there. They already made it clear that he's just he's just taking that team the rest of the season. He's going to want to be a head coach. He now that he has his opportunity to show that he can still coach, and I expect him to do really well against Tennessee this weekend, his name is going to go up. But I don't think Florida is going to go after him. I don't really think if Penn State would even go after him. I think UTEP would be the perfect place for him, and that's my number one candidate going into next season, because we have to move on. We're going to the Mountain West. This is supposed to be a big part of our future growth of the athletic program. We're going backwards, guys. Backwards. That's all I'm going to say. Have a good night, UTEP.
All right, good job, Keith from Winnipeg. That's right, Canada. That's where he's joining us from as we continue here on Miner Talk. 915-505-6009. Let's just keep it moving. We've got Zay coming in here soon. He's joining us. He's going to join us from the press conference right after that. But now we've got our great friend, Alberto Reta, who's joining us from Denver. Alberto, I'm waving the white towel, the white flag. It's over for me. I'm done this year in 2025. Have your voice drop to do our Come On Man segment that Chris here from Inspo Lens coined. So give me a good Come On Man, because that's what we need to do here to start off this segment or this call with you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I do. That's on me. That's on me, folks. And that I am sorry. But look, I'm just gonna keep it short here. Look, Coach, I've agreed with all the callers so far before this, and really the only thing that I have to say is I'm not going to go into the stats of how ineffective the offense is. The caller before me said they tore it. He didn't say it, but he kind of said it. They tore into UTEP's offense on the CBS broadcast. And at the end of the game, Scotty Walden's saying he just can't figure it out or he just doesn't understand. It's like, dude, take a step back. You've never called plays at this level. You've never led a whole team at this level. This is your first go at it. What Scotty Walden needs to do in order for the Miners to have success is hire an offensive play caller that has called plays at that level. There's nothing wrong with taking a step back and as a man saying, I'm in too deep. Maybe I can't do all of this at once. And also you'd have a guy to show you the ropes. It's just, I think that Walden needs to make some changes, and I hope he does make them, because you need a guy on your staff who has done this before, called plays at that level, and is not a yes-man to you. And who's going to evaluate the quarterbacks and all the skill positions adequately, because he has seen this at that high level. Something that you have not, and that's okay. But that's all I have, guys. I'll listen.
Wait. One more. Come on, man. Come on. You got to give me a come on, man. Give it to me like a genuine. Like, take a deep breath. Give it to me as genuine as you can based on your feel and your emotion from this game.
Come on, man.
All right, we're rolling with that.
Oh,
I got
man.
it clipped.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Okay, good stuff. Alberto Reta, our friend, he joined us here on the program, live from Denver. We got people from Phoenix. We got people from Winnipeg. We got people from Denver. And now we got Louis, who's joining us next on the phone lines, 915-505-6009. We got after him, Milkman, and then Bobby, who's going to join us here next. Hang on with us, 915-505-6009. Before we get to Louis, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Miner Talk, brought to you by Jack in the Box here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Live here in our River Oaks Property Schoolyard Sports Studios. Miner Talk presented by Jack in the Box, thinking way outside the box and open 24/7 because cravings don't have a curfew. Also brought to you in part by Boomy Dental. Visit them online at boomydental.com. I'm wearing my El Paso Roots t-shirt right now. Thomas Adams Apparel, a New Start Homes, 915 Tours, and the District Pub and Kitchen West. Let's go back to the phones. Louis is with us now. Louis, good evening. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? Just going along with everybody's frustration. I saw these 3 games. I thought 2 out of 3 we've been looking good, but we lost to Monroe, Tech, and Liberty. God help us next year when we play the Mountain West. It's just the play calling. I have to agree. Even CBS Sports was questioning his 2 runs on 4th down. I'm like, it hadn't worked all game. Why would it work then? So I kind of agree with the other callers that maybe he's punching above his level right now. I worked at the FCF level, but it's not working at our level. I mean, it's just not there. So I just want to hear your take on, he keeps apologizing to the fans. I think he should stop apologizing and start doing something. 3 games apologizing, and the crowd was pretty sad. So he's losing us. So we need something to change. It needs to change fast. And what's that saying? When you have 2 quarterbacks, you really don't have any. So I think we need to recruit a quarterback for next year. So that's just my take. And hopefully we win a couple games going forward, especially the Aggie game. So, have a good night, gentlemen.
Have a good night, Louis. Yeah, appreciate your phone call, man. Thank you for weighing in. Thank you for your thoughts and your comments here on the program with us. I will say this, as far as UTEP goes, and as far as his question as to apologizing to fans and stuff like that. I think there is a genuine part of Walden that truly wants this to work and truly thinks El Paso special. And I'll give him a ton of credit. There's a lot of things that people are going to bring up tonight that are shortcomings of head coach Scotty Walden, right? I'll give him credit that he's a hell of a recruiter. He's he's sold this program in a big way to not just the fan base, but the national media, people who talk about college football, who write about college football. Like, they are invested. They care about UTEP. People who've never cared before have cared now, and they're doing the right things externally, right? But internally and winning games on the football field, and which is how you're judged by. It's just they're not getting things done at this point here into year 2. And yeah, it's year 2, and it goes back to, I think Aaron said it earlier, you give them time. It's not just a quick decision after year 2, right, of any program out there. But I would disagree with something that Aaron had said from Arizona, talking about how you give a coach 4 years. I think in today's modern era of college football, somebody mentioned, Keith was talking about amateurism or almost professional sports, basically, with the way that name, image, likeness deals are thrown around and transfer portals thrown around. I think 4 years is interesting because there's no 4-year player, right? There's not a guy who you develop him as a freshman and enter through his senior year, right? The average player across all of college football transfers 2-3 times. And so, you think about UTEP and you think about a 3-year, 4-year thing after year 1 in the Mountain West next year. You got to have a clear indication of where this is going, Sal. Like, that you have to understand, like, is this going up? Is this going sideways? Is this going south? And, LUTEP Miner texted in the program, and I'll just simply ask you. It looks like, genuine question, was last year's team better than this year's team? And LUTEP Miner was saying that it feels like this year they're going the wrong way.
Yeah. Because going towards that second half of the schedule, right, the Miners had some games. We know that they won those games. We don't got to shy away. 2 out of their last 3. But you could kind of feel that way throughout some of those games. They were hanging tough around this point in the year with some of those conference opponents. They're not even in the same classroom as some of these other guys when it comes to football out there on the field. So you don't get that feeling at all. I have not seen anything these last couple of weeks that would make me believe that they could win a game going forward in the worst conference USA that has been in the last, 20 years or so. And we're talking about some good teams and some really bad teams throughout its tenure with UTEP in it. And this is the lowest of the low. So I don't feel confident about them winning the game the rest of the way because 2 of the teams that I had, first of all, I'm already super dead on my prediction. I'm super wrong on it. But towards the end of the year, I really believe that they could get Missouri State and they could get Delaware. I don't even think they can get them anymore.
I don't think so either.
In the slightest, man.
I mean, road games, like road, UTEP on the road, period. No. It's at home where you win games. It's protecting the Sun Bowl where you win these games, and then you try to win 1 or 2 on the road, maybe. I don't care what team you're playing on the road. Like next week, Sam Houston, all right. They should win that game. As bad as UTEP has been this year, 0-5 Sam Houston, Miners should win that game. I still have a higher standard for UTEP. But like you said, Sal, maybe not. Maybe they don't win another game. Maybe the way that this season is going is totally sideways and maybe south compared to what we thought initially. Like I thought 4 wins. Maybe I'm totally off. Maybe we're talking 2 or 3 when it's all said and done, and that would be awful for UTEP. That would be taking a step back instead of taking a step forward after year 1 and going 3-9. Head coach Scotty Walton right now is 4-14 as a head coach here at UTEP, and that just is what it is. You are what your record is right there, and that is right now just not a winning team with what we're seeing in year 2.
And in this day and age, those wins gotta come a lot quicker. And I was really thinking about it when you guys had mentioned like a 4-year period, and you're right. We've seen coaches say goodbye to the game that they've loved coaching for the last decade, 2 decades. And obviously the level is different, but this is why Nick Saban didn't want to even be a coach anymore. How long could he develop a player for if he were still the coach today? He doesn't get that same type of time with the player to kind of like Bill Belichick, right? Like squeeze all the water out of the towel that you can. That's what they try to do. And you go from a respectable 3 to 4 years, and let's say 3 because players would go to the pros, but that's dropped to 1.5 because some guys could be there 1 year, maybe 2 years, but then they're gone after that. So it's a lot different now. That time frame has to be a lot shorter for UTEP if they expect to find themselves competing with other coaches who can do what they want to do because they're fed up with their situation.
Let's take a break. We got Zay in the house. He's here. Taking a break right now. First one of the program. We've got full phone lines. A lot of comments to get to. 915-505-6009. We've got Milkman, Bobby, Sidelines Kevin, Alan joining us. Stay with us. All of you guys hang on with us on the lines. We're going to take a timeout right now. When we come back, more of Miner Talk live on Inspo Lens via YouTube, Twitter, and X, and then live here 600 ESPN El Paso. Taking a timeout right now. When we come back, more of Miner Talk presented by Jack in the Box here on 600 ESPN El Paso. All right, we are live. Miner Talk is here, presented by Jack in the Box. Also brought to you in part by Boomy Dental, Thomas Adams Apparel, the District Pub and Kitchen West, New Start Homes. Shout out to 915 Tours. We got the new Miner Talk hats in so far. And UTEP Zay is in the house. He was there in person. He got to witness the Liberty 19-8 win against the Miners. We've got full phone lines. We've got Kevin from Sidelines standing by next with us. And Zay, I'm going to let you kick us off here in the next segment. Give me the full rundown. Where do you want to begin here on another Miner loss here on Miner Talk?
Oh, man, I have so much to say. We have full phone lines, so I'll keep it kind of brief with this one. I mean, yeah, it's pretty similar to what everybody else has kind of said on this program. What you think? This was just a really, really bad game. Like, it was a bad college football game. And I've seen some bad football, right? You know, I've covered high school football here. And, you know, when you're starting to cover high school football, you don't get the greatest games, right? They haven't lent me some game of the week. So I've seen some bad football. But man, there were moments and spurts throughout this game where I was just like, what are we watching here, man? It was so hard to watch this offense kind of move. I know on the broadcast they were coming up with creative terms to call this offense bad, but they didn't really flat out say it. This offense was bad today, and there's no doubt about it. I mean, another game where they can't get the run game going. Another contest where we really have no idea who the quarterback is. I mean, it's flip-flopping back and forth, and just all in all, it was a tough thing to watch, and especially considering that this is another this is like a carbon copy of Louisiana Tech almost. Is the defense really kept them in it, and UTEP genuinely had a shot somehow, despite having one of their worst offensive games probably like ever, at least from the eye test.
I would just say, like, week to week, it's just regressed, right, offensively. Like, Louisiana Monroe is bad. La Tech was worse. And somehow Liberty tops all of that, being the worst of them all offensively in this output. 8 points? Finishing a game with 8 points? I almost rather you get blanked like nothing and score nothing. And, yeah, let's just go back to the phones. I got so many thoughts. We could dive into this one and dissect it until we're blue in the face, but I want to hear from more of our callers out there. We got full phone lines, 915-505-6009. Kevin from Sidelines UTEP is joining us next on the phone lines. Kevin, you were there. You got to witness this one. Liberty defeats UTEP 19-8. Such a weird score. I can't even get the score right. Give me your thoughts initially after this one.
Adrian, in 20-plus years of supporting UTEP football, that has to be top 5, one of the worst losses I've ever witnessed. Like, hands down. Like, 66 yards through 3 quarters, Adrian. Was I watching the 2002 Gary Nord final season UTEP? Like, I was getting flashbacks as a 6-year-old while in that press box, Adrian. I was like, oh, my God, no way. Like, I'm going back in time, and I'm witnessing one of the worst offenses in college football, Adrian. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? And someone who's like kind of been neutral, you know me, Adrian. You guys know me. I'm very neutral for the most part. It's hard to be neutral for this game. It was just flat out just sucked. Like offensively, just wasn't there at all. The defense, again, it's the same story, just different day. Offense doesn't show up, and the defense just holds their ground the whole game. And I'm kind of lost for words because it's week 7, and the offense just has no identity. You know, we kind of saw a little bit of that identity in the Utah State game. We saw a little bit in the UT Martin game, a little bit in the Texas game, I guess, too. But they just regressed. Like, what happened from this week 1 team up until now? Like, what is going on with this team?
Did they peak at Texas?
We peaked over an admirable loss? Really? Oh, I hate to say it. I think you're right, Adrian. No way. Like, we were all talking about this team going to a bowl game, and I mean, Coach Walden's still talking about going to a bowl game in this post-game conference. I don't know why. At this point, you're just trying to salvage the season. Am I right?
Not trying to lose the locker room any more than it currently is. I mean,
Yeah.
to say that this thing can get turned around and that they can win 5 of their last 6 to get to a bowl game, like really? Like, wait, really? Wait, did you watch the last 4 games? The last 3 games?
I get you have to say certain stuff, when you're talking to the media, as a Division I head coach. I get that part. But you got to be realistic, too, when you're talking to reporters, when you're talking in your post-game show. This team is just trying to salvage it. They're just trying to salvage this season. I can't believe I picked them to win 5 games because it's probably not going to happen. Let me bring this up. UTEP has, two games in the East Coast this year. They have, Kennesaw in Atlanta, and they have Delaware. UTEP is 2-26-1 in the East Coast. 2-26-1. Like, do you actually think they could beat Delaware? Delaware, the newcomer of the league that's just taking the Conference USA by storm? Oh, man. I'm just lost for words, guys.
I appreciate it, Kevin. I appreciate it, Sidelines. I feel the same way. I feel pretty similar to what you were saying right there. Let's keep it moving. I appreciate your phone call, Kevin, as always. 915-505-6009, our telephone number. Back to the phone lines we go. Milkman is next. He's patiently waited for a while for this phone call, so I'm going to give him all the time that he wants here on this phone call. 915-505-6009, our telephone number. Live on Inspo Lens, YouTube, Twitter, and X. Live on 600 ESPN El Paso, of course. Milkman, you have the floor.
Well, yeah, I don't know if this call deserves that buildup, but I know I'm calling a radio show, so I should have some amazing take on this or something. But I got to tell you, I'm speechless, man. Like I got nothing. I don't. If somebody can explain to me how an offense can get consistently, in consecutive weeks, get worse. I don't quite understand that. How? I mean, just from playing the game, you should get better, right? I mean, I don't. I mean, I got nothing, man. I don't understand. I can't tell you where to fix it because I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? I'm absolutely blown away, and I don't care how down people were on, the possibilities of how good the Miners would be this year. I don't think anybody having a 1-5 right now.
Fair.
I understand not being too optimistic and that stuff, but really 1-5 at this point, really? I mean, holy cow! Guys, give me something. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm looking at when I'm watching the offense out there. I don't even know what I'm seeing. It's unbelievable. I wish I had some great take on this, but I'm blown away, and not in a good way.
I hear you, Milkman. I hear you. You sound distraught. You sound disgusted. You sound at a loss for words. And I totally understand with what you're saying right there, Milkman. I don't really know what to say from an offensive perspective and where they're at. Defense has shown up. It's just the offense has been as bad as it could get over the last 3 weeks. Appreciate your phone call as always, Milkman. Thank you for weighing in. We've got a bunch of phone calls to get to. 915-505-6009. 600 ESPN El Paso, Twitter next, 600ESPNElPaso.com. Back to the hotline we go. It's Mondo the Monster Medina from EP Sports Network. Puros Miners, bro. Sidelines for us here on the UTEP football broadcast. He is back with us here on the hotline with us here live on Inspo Lens, live on YouTube, live on Twitter next. And Mondo, we sit at the same position that we've been in over the last 2 weeks, and here we are, 3 straight home losses after this night against Liberty.
Yeah, if it's kind of like if you would have told me after the Texas game that I was so impressed with the way the defense played. And by the way, we peaked at the UT Martin game. That's when the offense peaked. UT Martin, that's when they peaked week 2, which is bad. I'm not ready to get a bag on the offense because everybody's been doing that. I mean, because it is what it is. Offense is just bad. The other thing I will say about the offense is, hey, everybody's played at quarterback except Cade. Let's give Cade a shot. Let's see what Cade can go out there and do. honestly. I mean, we've seen Shea do stuff. We've seen everybody else. Skyler did when in the fourth quarter he finally did something more like desperation. We see Malachi. Why not give Cade an opportunity to see what he can go out there and do? I'm just saying. And by the way, the last time we played Sam Houston, Cade was the quarterback, and they beat Sam Houston. So I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, I'm just saying maybe give him man Cade a shot. I mean, you just say what it wouldn't make anything worse. That's all I'm going to say about the offense. The one number that does concern me, gentlemen, is 9,286. That is the attendance that was there tonight at the Sun Bowl. When was the last time that you guys can remember that there was under 10,000 people at the Sun Bowl, even for a weekday game? Did you remember that, Adrian?
Yeah, I had to do some digging on this one. I had to do some digging, Mondo, because I had no clue, and I was thinking, wait a second, is this number right? 9,000? Like I had to do a double take. I had to do a triple take. I was really, really surprised that was the number, even if it was a weeknight game, right? Like weeknight game aside, Saturday game aside, no question. They had 9,690 fans in attendance when they were 1-11 against Middle Tennessee in 2018. So I guess it hasn't been that long ago, but also it still stings, right? Like that was also a tough season where they had to snap a long losing streak that dated back to 2017. The losing streak was not snapped against FCS Northern Arizona that year in 2018. They ended up snapping that losing streak against Rice on the road, and that was a horrible Rice team if anybody remembers that one. And that UTEP team finished off 1-11.
I remember that game. So I think that's for me. It's the most concerning is that obviously they've lost the city of El Paso. Like I told you, the city of El Paso gives you one shot. So now, like I said, I don't know how you fix this team. I mean, defensively they're doing the best that they could. You talk about the fact that other than that first drive, I mean they gave them the position, but the rest of the game they forced nothing but field goals. And it's unbelievable to me that when the fourth quarter started with the team has net 0 yards in the third quarter, they're still in this game because of the defense. And then they go on the run, and then the team gets all hyped up, but then all Liberty has to do is put together one good drive, and they did, and they end up winning the game. You're not going to win that many games when you really don't try until the fourth quarter. It is what it is. It's just the offensive line, they had a very bad night. And like I said, I'm still kind of blown away the fact that after the Texas game, because we were there, we're impressed with the defense that they would have lost the last 3 games after that in a row, especially all those 3 games at the Sun Bowl. We would have said there's no way, but I mean, yes way, as with the quote out Wayne's World, yes way it happened. So I mean, I just kind of like how Coach Walden said, I'm dumbfounded because of how this team has played the last 3 home games at the Sun Bowl, and I don't know how you fix it, man. I really don't. I'm
at a loss too. I'm dumbfounded as well, just like Walden was, just like you are, Mondo. I'm at a loss because I didn't think it could go even lower than what happened last week, and we saw an even lower point this week.
And let me go back to the Cade situation. I mean, like I said, we saw that Skyler brought something different, but like unless they change the play calling, because obviously they want to establish the run, and they're not able to establish the run, and obviously Skyler does a tremendous job with his legs. I think he's better than Malachi. I'm just saying, I mean, you're going to throw in Shea Smith. We've seen him do some stuff. Cade's the one quarterback that's also been in the system for the last 3 years or 2 years there. Obviously, Skyler's got the most experience in it. But, like, I'm being honest. Let's see what Cade can do. I mean, maybe there's a spark there. I don't know. I mean, because honestly, the offense needs some type of spark. You know, and right now they're not getting it. They're trying to establish the run, and obviously that's going to happen. I heard they were criticized on the CBS Sports National broadcast. So, I mean, they got to take a hard look at themselves. But it's just frustrating as a UTEP fan. But the one thing that I do love about your show and the fact that you have the phones all lit up is that the city of El Paso still cares. I'd be more concerned if nobody was calling into your show to talk to you guys. Because that means nobody cares. But the fact that you got full lines, you got people like my man Milkman, and by the way, Kevin from Sideline, you can keep your shirt. You would have given it to me if you would have won, so I'm sad about that. But nonetheless, I'm just like, the fact that you got all these people calling, that means the city of El Paso still cares about UTEP. But the general sports fan, I mean, that's under 10,000. I mean, that's the big concern I have for and the fact that they're not going to play back in the Sun Bowl until almost a month from now, November the 7th. I mean, they're going to have to do a lot of winning, and I really don't know. They got to put it together. I don't know if they can.
I don't know if they can either. Mondo, safe travels next Wednesday
Appreciate you.
at Houston in Houston, I should say, against Sam Houston. Appreciate you as always. Burros Miners, bro. EP Sports Network, and of course you hear Mondo the Monster Medina with us on UTEP football broadcasts as a sideline reporter as we continue. Really appreciate you, Mondo. Thank you for weighing in. And yeah, I mean, we got full phone lines. Definitely blessed for that. Appreciate everybody hanging with us, wanting to voice their thoughts. Appreciate people still caring about this show as always. Appreciate people watching us live on Inspo Lens. I'm looking at it right now. It's insane. It's like we almost have 400 people watching us live here. It's a Wednesday night, 11:30 here Mountain Standard Time, basically, and we've got that many people who care. So Mondo's right. I mean, people wouldn't be chiming in and all of that if they didn't care. So back to the phones we go. It's Bobby who's joining us next. He's been waiting very, very patiently. Bobby has almost stayed on with us for 30 minutes, so appreciate you, Bobby. Thanks for weighing in on the program. Go ahead. You just go right ahead on your thoughts for UTEP.
Oh, thank you very much, Adrian. I appreciate it, man. I finally, like Zach Galifianakis said, I'm at my wit's end. But I was backing coach. And let me start by saying I think he's a very good man. I think he's a great recruiter. I think he's a great motivator. He does everything coaching the right way except for calling plays. There's no way they're firing him. He's under contract, so they're not going to, we need a new coach. That's not going to happen next year. But we need an offensive coordinator. They need somebody to be able to stand up to him and say, hey, coach, we're running this, run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt. And I'm no offensive coordinator, but dang, I mean, and we're blaming the quarterbacks, but you and I, Adrian, could have handed off. We could have handed off and then faced 3rd and 7 and thrown an incomplete pass just as good. I mean, you put the quarterbacks in a hole like that, there's no way that they stand a chance. And we've got all these little Scotty Walden clones as assistant coaches that get all pumped up, and they're afraid to say. I mean, someone's got to set up. Coach, we know that team is terrible against the run. We've tried 2 series, and we haven't gotten 3 yards. Let's try something else. And until they get an offensive coordinator, I can't see anything. And I mean, it's just like there's high school football, and you know, Adrian, as much as anybody, there's high school football offensive coordinators that do a much more imaginative and I'm not saying trickery. I'm saying just I mean, we've got a pass to set up the run sometimes. You know, it's just run. And while we're on what's Adrian, you know better than I do, our 4th or 5th string running back right now, and for us to keep trying to run the ball, and then we open it up, and then all we heard is when Coach Walden was hired was that they're explosive offense, they're fast, they run. Where is that? It's frustrating.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Bobby, I appreciate you, man. Any other thoughts here before we let you go here on the program?
Yeah, I'm going to get you I was saying guillotine, but I'm sorry.
Oh, man, that was the worst thing you could have said. I'm cutting you off right now. You're out here, Bobby. Get out of here, man. Come on. Bringing some fantasy football stuff with me and trying to ruin my night even more. Appreciate you, Bobby, as always. Thank you for weighing in. 915-505-6009. Alan's next with us. Alan, good evening. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I've been watching the Miners since I was 7 years old. And today, with 77 yards or 80 yards total offense, I don't know. UTEP needs to decide if they want to play with the big boys or not. If they want to play with the big boys, you better put some money out there and start putting money out there so you can play with the big boys. If not, drop the Division II and bring baseball and men's soccer in. Because the way they're going right now, like everybody's talking, they're not going to win. You know, this is frustrating. I'm at a loss of words just like everybody else is. I'm embarrassed. You know, 77 yards. You're an NC Division I team, 77 offensive yards?
Bad stuff, man. I mean, Alan, like they went into the fourth quarter with 66 total yards of offense. They ended the game 167 total yards, but 56 on the ground. Only 57 on the ground, and I think that's one of the big ones where you got to get more production in the ground game if you're UTEP.
And I got one more point if I can say it. The best quarterback on the team is not even playing. Cade McConnell is the best quarterback on the team, and he's not even playing.
I hear you, man. Alan, I appreciate your phone call. Thank you for weighing in. I feel like I'm the most biased guy whenever I talk about Cade, so I try to tread lightly with all of that kind of conversation right there. Zay, I'm going to let you react to some of the calls that we had. You go ahead. Give me some of your reactions because I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts on UTEP.
Yeah, I think, back here, on the Cade situation, I think it's Skylar. I think it should be Skylar no matter what. We haven't seen any Cade, so I do think he deserves an opportunity, but the timing just isn't there. I think that they're at a crossroads, and sure, I wouldn't mind seeing a guy like Cade or Shea, but no, right? You have Malachi Nelson, you have Skylar Locklear. You got to stick with one of these guys. You can't be going rotation with quarterbacks. That's you're not going to win football games doing that, So I think that when it comes to that quarterback situation, I know that he threw a couple of picks today, but it's got to be Skylar. He's giving you, I guess, the most boost offensively, if that's what you want to call it. But at the end of the day, UTEP's not going to win any football games if they can't run the ball. That's the big thing. And I think the defense played a really, really good football game, but they also did start kind of slow, and that definitely doesn't do an already bad offense any favors, having to play from behind from the start of the game. This is the second straight week that the defense has allowed a touchdown on the opening drive to the opposing team, and that's just that doesn't spell well, especially when you know that your offense is awful. It's awful. It's been awful. It is awful. And, yeah, it has regressed a lot, and a lot of that some of that has to do with, the injuries that this team has had, and I don't think that wide receiver core really was as deep as that coaching staff would have hoped because really nobody has stood out, I thought maybe Wadami Davis would have maybe jumped out to you, but he really hasn't. It's been really only Kenny Odom, who didn't even look amazingly as I would have expected these past couple of games. I think teams have kind of schemed against him. And I think that the rest of that receiving core, nobody has really jumped out to be that big dog, had a consistent stretch of games. So I think that the running back room was not as good as we thought. The receiving room was not as good as we thought. And the offensive line isn't great, but I don't think you can put it all on them. And you really can't put it all on the quarterback, whoever it is, either. This is a full... The coaching staff is at fault. The team just isn't executing. This is bad football.
It is. Simply put, it is. I'm with you. Good stuff, Zay. Let's do this. Let's take a timeout right now. When we come back, more Miner Talk. We're presented by Jack in the Box. Also brought to you in part by Thomas Adams Apparel. I'm rocking my MinerTalk hat that was made by Thomas Adams Apparel, locally made. It's brought to you by 915 Tours, but it was made by Thomas Adams Apparel. Rocking this one. They've got the Blue Blaze, Wee Fence, and Orange Swarm hats available online, thomasadamsapparel.com. Big shout out to them if you're looking to make any apparel, shirts, if you want to make any polos or hats for your business, your sports team, anything like that. Contact the great people, thomasadamsapparel.com. That's where you can learn more about them. And big shout out to our great friends over at Thomas Adams Apparel. Also, big shout out to our presenting sponsor here on Miner Talk, Jack in the Box. Open 24/7, 365. Jack in the Box. Cravings don't have a curfew over at Jack in the Box. Big shout out to them. We'll take a timeout right now. When we come back, more phone calls here, 915-505-6009 on Miner Talk as we continue. All right, we're back. Miner Talk continues here, presented by Jack in the Box. Thinking way outside the box and open 24/7 because cravings don't have a curfew over at Jack in the Box. We're Miner Talk. I'm Adrian Broadus. He's Zay Galindo. Sal Montes was with us here before. Shout out to Andy in Estrosa, who was with us live on location out at the Sun Bowl. He hung in with us throughout the entire game, covering the game with us for 600 ESPN El Paso. Appreciate Michael Barker, our friend of the program, college football campus tour, who was there in attendance, showing the obstructed viewpoints of the Sun Bowl. That was really cool. And then Zay, there was another college football big influencer who was there tonight as well at the Sun Bowl, correct?
Yes, my guy G-Fed. Man, I've been watching this guy since like 2023-ish when he was really niche. He was on like a niche college football TikTok. I mean, you really had to be a true sicko to know this guy. He'd go and sneak into college stadiums. Like, I know he's gotten like arrested like 3 times for doing it. And
this is not a good description of this guy.
Yeah, that sounds crazy, but it's grown into something so much bigger. He's doing 100 stadiums in 100 days, and now he's getting, credentialed and real all-access tours to almost every FBS stadium. So, yeah, it was super cool seeing him there in the Sun Bowl. He made his trip out to El Paso, and he even leaves with a funny story. He went to cross the border into Mexico. His first time in El Paso. He goes and crosses the border. He walks across, and he didn't know that you can't just walk back. So he was stuck in customs for a little bit, for about a couple hours, a little late to the game. But nonetheless, can't wait for the YouTube video to see his experience around El Paso.
Wow, that's good stuff. I didn't realize that was the controversy on his side, but he ended up making it over and was at the game. Shout out to him. G-Fed? Is that yeah, G-Fed, and then also college football campus tour, our boy Michael Barker, who is joining us on the pregame as well. And shout out to Paige Wood, who joined us, UTEP's Minor Vision sideline reporter in the pregame coverage as well. So appreciate all our friends in the media who hung in with us throughout the program. Also appreciate Boomy Dental. I'm wearing the El Paso Roots t-shirt. We actually gave one away today. Actually 2, I should say. Eileen stopped by for her El Paso Roots t-shirts. She loved it. She got a chance to see our boy Tim Hardaway. We got Aaron Jones here featured on this t-shirt. So many great El Paso sports icons. If you want to win one of these great t-shirts, follow us 600 ESPN El Paso on Instagram. Follow Boomy Dental as well. And then, hey, if you're looking to switch your dentist, check out boomydental.com. Stop by their location. It's on the east side, 1612 Lee Trevino, or give them a call, 915-591-2525. That's Boomy Dental, B-U-M-I Dental, and that is one of our sponsors here on Miner Talk as we continue. Back to the phones we go. We're opening up the phone lines again. If you want to weigh in, or if you have tried to get into the program to weigh in with your thoughts, our telephone number, 915-505-6009. Liberty defeats UTEP 19-8. If you want to weigh in with your thoughts, let's do it, 915-505-6009. Next up with us is Eddie Morelos, the mayor, who's joining us. He was wearing a sleek UTEP Chihuahuas t-shirt today. I really enjoyed. Eddie, what's up, my man?
Oh, my gosh, nonstop calls. I've been trying to get through this whole show. Good stuff, Adrian.
Hey, appreciate you, Eddie. Appreciate you, man, as always.
So many thoughts. I luckily, the Cubbies won today. We were watching it there in the press box. If it wasn't for that, I would be just as disgusted as all the other callers.
Hey, congrats to your Cubs.
Hey, thank you, man. But I'll say this. How many callers have said it? I was thinking about earlier in the week, Steve was backing up Coach Walden, saying, oh, we got to give him a chance. You got to give him a chance. 18 games now and no offense still. How many more games do we have to watch to say, okay, enough is enough? And for me, I'm only giving them to game 2 of next year. If there's not a big difference within 2 games of next year, that's it. That's it. I mean, you got to see a difference from now till then. So
is it solely the
one.
Offense for you?
It really is, because the defense has kept them in it. Even tonight, we kept on saying, me and my partner that I work with, you see where I'm at, we kept saying to one another, man, that defense, they just can't, because they get back on the field so much. The offense was only averaging, I asked you to look it up, at one point in the game, and it was like at a minute, 45 seconds per drive. for the UTEP Miner offense. So how much more was the defense on the field? That's not good for them. They're a good defense. We all know that. So, looking forward, right, I was thinking, we're going to the Mountain West. I was thinking the first school that came to my mind out of the Mountain West for no reason at all, San Jose State. Where do we, the Miners, compare to San Jose State?
One tick lower.
Well, there we go. Then that's not a good sign because, San Jose State, really? And I'm not just talking football. I'm talking all their sports. I remember going over there time and time again when they were in the WAC with New Mexico State Aggies. The Aggies were, in all other sports other than football, were kind of beat up on them. But in football, they've had some decent teams, especially these last few years. So it's going to be problematic in the Mountain West if we keep seeing what we're seeing on the offensive side of things. One other thing I want to talk about is just, thank God that, Salmonella already said it. They cut the prices in half for tickets this week. But I still saw a lot of signs out there for $25 parking when there's literally empty parking lots. I don't know. You got to find ways to make it more attractive. Because right now, I think even if you gave tickets away, the fans would be kind of reluctant to show up. But it's like the Monster Medina already said, the city of El Paso, the borderland region, we love our sports. Everybody loves the Miners, and we just want to see a good product. That's what we want. So, Adrian, you do a wonderful job, my guy. Salmonella, much love to you. Hey, I met your new intern, the fall intern. What's his name?
Andy.
Andy. Shout out to Andy, man. He was very attentive, and I believe you guys got another good one on your hands.
We always get good ones, man, and I appreciate your phone call, Eddie. Thank you for weighing in, but we've been blessed, man. Amazing interns with us for 600 ESPN El Paso over the years. Some of them have worked with us. Some of them have, moved on to bigger and better things. Got a chance to run into a former intern today, Sebastian Perez Navarro. He was killing it with the Minor Vision team over there as well, so shout out to him. Shout out to all of our former interns like George Wajardo, who called in to lead off Minor Talk. I didn't even realize it was George Wajardo. So, and Andy Inestrosa fits right in with all the rest of them. So we've been blessed to get some great quality interns with us who are passionate about media, passionate about sports, and passionate about helping us out here on the program. So can't thank them enough here for all their work. So appreciate you, Eddie, for saying that. Hey, I do want to get to Twitter and X, and Joe Chacone's over here texting me, blowing up my Twitter, blowing up our Inspo Lens stream to saying that we're not going to read that we're not reading his tweets. Well, we're not, dude. I'm sorry. We're we're prioritizing some of the phone calls here first. So let me get to some of the comments here on Twitter and X, and then we'll go back to the phone lines. Our telephone number, if you want to weigh in, 915-505-6009. I see you, Augustine. I see you as well. Flying Cheeseheads gets us started. Does UTEP even have to worry about selling enough seats that someone would actually have to sit with an obstructed view? Do they even break 10,000? Well, today they didn't. So, to your point, you're exactly right. Snappy at Snappy Miner. Can't blame El Paso for not wanting to show up. This is brutal to watch, even on TV. Jason Sanders, it's humorous. You have maybe 1,000 people in the stands, and through 3 quarters, you have 66 total yards. No one gives a bleep about the helmets that UTEP is wearing. This is from Coach Matt at MV Scouting. Imagine if they had a quarterback on the roster who could produce some yardage and some points. 8-Ball Troy at Hector 69. Locklear is obviously QB1 now, right? Zay, would you say obviously, or what word would you use?
I wouldn't say obviously. Just because, he wasn't great, honestly. Like he probably wasn't even that good, but neither was Malachi. So I wouldn't say obviously, but I think he has the inside track on being the starter against Sam Houston.
Snappy again. Tonight we saw two bad teams go at it. The difference is Liberty pays their coaches $4 million, and UTEP still toys with sub $1 million coaches. Coaching matters, and UTEP will not make big strides as an athletic program until they truly, quote, invest first. This is VIP Lounge EP. So let me understand, UTEP football has the number 1 recruiting class 2 years in a row, and this is what we have? BS Fire Gym Center. Ryan Vidales, it won't matter who plays quarterback for UTEP with poor play calling, no run game, subpar blocking, and crucial drop passes. Even a Heisman quarterback candidate wouldn't be successful in this offense. This is not a recipe to win football games and hard to watch. Hashtag MinerTalk. Diego Mendoza. At Diego Mendoza Moyers. Read him on ElPasoMatters.com. Can't wait to hear how proud head coach Scotty Walden is of his team after this one. But another late touchdown makes this look more respectable than it truly was. Let's just put a pin in this one, Zay. Put a pin in the Louisiana Monroe game, the La Tech game, and this game. These were not close games. Let's just call it what it is. They were not close.
And I think this one was by far the least close game. I think the Louisiana Monroe game, yeah, like they were getting dominated, but at least they did make a formidable comeback that, all right, I'll respect that. The Louisiana Tech game, that one was not close by any means, but this was the worst one because, like any competent offense, how many field goals did Liberty have? They attempted 5, right?
5, yeah.
Let's just say they get 3 touchdowns instead. Like, this score looks so much worse than it really is. So this is, like, by far the worst one out of those 3 games. This is, this really could have been, like, a 35-0 game. I wouldn't have been shocked. Maybe it was 40-0 because this is how bad UTEP played that they really get lucky that they only lose by 11 points.
That's a good point, man. That's a really good point. Zay, can you check the ETM at midnight just to make sure we don't hit ESPN radio? We're hitting in sicko MinerTalk late night hours right now on a Wednesday, going into Thursday. So anybody who's still watching us, we have over 500 people watching us right now. You are part of the sickos, and those who are listening to us on 600 ESPN El Paso, you are in the sicko committee with us. Weeknight, Conference USA madness, and Liberty defeats UTEP 19-8. Back to Twitter we go. Devious at Pooh Bear. Sigh. Being a UTEP fan is a story of resilience, cynicism, and just saying next year. It's exhausting, but I'll always root for the underdogs. What else can you do? I'm not going to wallow in self-pity and negativity. It is what it is. Good way of looking at it. Some guy, Chris, who's an excellent follow on social media, by the way. Through 5 games against FBS opponents, head coach Scotty Walden's Blue Blaze offense is averaging 14 points a game. That is the second fewest in the past 25 years. Only season that it was worse was the 2017 season that ended 0-12. And by the way, Zay, in the postgame, I don't know what he said in the press conference, but in the postgame, he said that the game plan was there. The offense simply did not execute the game plan that he felt so confident about going into this game.
Yeah, he kept saying the same thing in the presser. He said that he was, like you said earlier, lost for words. He doesn't know what happened because they had incredible week of practice and they said, the looks were there. Everything was there. He said that basically carbon copy of what he said in the post game with John. And at the end of the day, I was listening into this, and there's not really much else he can say, like in a presser or in anything. When you're coming off a loss as a head coach, you kind of just got to say what you got to remain optimistic. You can't go in there and just say this season's over, right? But it really does feel like this season really might be over. Like I can't buy into the words he was speaking in the presser anymore versus maybe a couple of weeks ago because I really don't see an alley where this team picks up more than maybe 2 wins after this game.
I have the white flag. I'm raising the white flag. I'm waving the towel. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm throwing in the towel now here. I threw in the towel and it's done. The towel has been thrown. And after 6 games, at least for me in the 2025 season, I'm out. Augustine is next with us, 915-505-6009. That's our telephone number as we continue here on the program. We got a bunch of comments to continue to read, but we'll go to Augustine next with us. Augustine, What's up, my man?
Hey, Adrian. Good evening. Well, almost good morning to everybody. And I just want to be clear. I want to say this. I didn't watch the game. I was at the
Sounds very typical to your calls. Didn't watch the game, but here I'm here to pile on while everybody else is hating on UTEP.
No. Here's the thing. I was at the Dream Theater concert.
Oh, nice. My dad probably would have rather been there versus at the UTEP game.
By the way, amazing show, incredible show. But I was checking the score. I would, you couldn't put your phone up because they would come at you and you couldn't take pictures or video. But the more I checked it, the more I said, and excuse my French, bleep UTEP football. Because at the same time, I think the whole city's going, well, this competitive thing has to come around sometime. And it just doesn't. And you said it best right now. This entire city has thrown the towel. And what's more embarrassing is that Scotty Walden, with what you just said, threw the team under the bus, saying that they didn't do his game plan, and that's just embarrassing. So all I got to say is the following: people are not going to show up because now Scotty Walden is putting people under the bus with that comment, and who's going to put up with that anymore? Are the players going to start not even playing for him? I mean, they already are not playing for him anyway. So what's next? What's next, Adrian? What's next for the team? What's next for the fans?
Appreciate your phone call. Thank you for weighing in, Augustine. I need like a Tylenol after that one. I need something after that one right there to that phone call. I don't know. I'm at a loss, just like Walden was. I'm a Milkman who called in earlier. I'm at a loss. I tried to give you an answer against La Tech. I tried to give you an answer against Louisiana Monroe, and tonight I have no answers. I really don't. You got to sleep in the bed that you made. And they decided before the game started to go with the antics and flip-flop quarterbacks, go with Skyler for the first couple drives and then switch over to Malachi and then kind of flip back and forth until they tried to hit a stride and hit some rhythm and stuff like that. And, for me personally, I didn't really love the comments of why they did what they did at the quarterback position, trying to find rhythm with the quarterback and trying to, no matter what, go into this game playing two quarterbacks. When nothing worked out for them, Zay, when the whole game plan was not working going into the third quarter, if I was making that decision of flipping the quarterback, I think I would have regretted it at that point. Just me personally. Like, if you lose with one guy, okay, maybe next week you could go out and do it with a different guy. But if you have this like interchanging quarterbacks, and at one point I saw Shea Smith warming up on the sideline, getting ready to go in. It just didn't work out quarterback wise. Like you mentioned the Skylar Locklear touchdown, but today out of big plays, like if you just look at big plays, they had one play that went over 15 yards through the air. One play, and that was the 44-yard miraculous Odell Beckham Jr.-like catch by Kenny Odom. And then rushing plays, a Skylar Locklear keeper for 11 yards, a Skylar Locklear touchdown from 13 yards, a Skylar Locklear scramble for 15 yards, and a Skylar Locklear scramble for 12 yards. That's the big plays for UTEP. Only five tonight in an 8-point effort.
And that's unacceptable, right? Because, Scotty comes in, and the big thing that everybody saw from his offense and what we expected was the big plays, the fast, fearless, physical offense, and we haven't seen that. I think we're 18 games in, and we haven't seen that yet, and that's what's scary to me is Brett Bloomquist, he asked a great question in the postgame. He said, do you have the right guys on the field to do what you're trying to do schematically? And of course, Scotty gave the political coach answer, right? It's, yeah, we do. We'd have to figure this out. But I don't think he does. I don't think the personnel is there for what they're trying to achieve and what they've been trying to achieve these past couple of years. Because you look at Austin Peay, when everything was working for them, they had everything perfect. They had the perfect offensive line. They had the perfect quarterback, and I think that's the real recipe here. Is they had a guy who really resembled like Calvin Brownholtz. It was his type of play style. And if you look on this UTEP roster right now, the only guy that kind of comes a little bit similar to that, just when it comes to just pure play style, now I'm not saying skill or anything like that, it's Shea. And I think that's why they're so high on Shea, because he can run the ball. He's something like that of a kind of a run-first quarterback, you want to say. And even beyond that, I don't think they have the right personnel when it comes to receivers, running backs, and even on the offensive line at times, because that offensive line, point blank, they really can't run block very well. So I think that was a really good question that Brett had asked, and I think that Scotty just had to give the answer he had to give because he can't throw his players under the bus. But in reality, I don't think he has what he needs to have a successful offense, at least for his scheme, and that's why we've seen this kind of stagnant offense this whole season, really, and even times into last year.
I think that's a great breakdown right there, Zay. Great job. I thought it was a really good breakdown of the question and kind of like the reality of what that answer should have been, right? Where maybe you don't have the right guys in place, and maybe that offensive philosophy that you try to carry over from Austin Peay to UTEP isn't translating to the FBS level because you simply don't have the personnel in place to do so. Hear what you're saying there. Back to some Twitter comments. Tristan Pence, friend of the program. First off, I would personally fire the offensive line coach. The one thing UTEP has in its favor is that the schedule is weak moving forward. However, the Miners seem to be regressing and losing confidence by the minute. Like Coach Walden, I just don't know. Hashtag MinerTalk. Olden McGroin tweets the program. Not sure if Walden's style is wearing thin, but the team hasn't looked prepared and competent since Texas. Whatever the message is, it doesn't resonate anymore. This is from Ruben Ramirez. Rutang. Coach Walden on the postgame comments, I have to do better. Yup, no kidding. But what you really need to do is hire an offensive coordinator. The play calling is killing this team. This is coming in from Matthew Castro. This team is giving Kugler vibes. Oh, man. Atha 99. I always say Scotty is a glorified cheerleader. He doesn't even qualify as that, and I probably and probably some of his recruits see him as a used car salesman now. It's really bad, and we can never grow as a university if we can't afford to remove a coach doing a bad job. Here we go, Mountain West. Here, that is coming in from AFA. This is from El Paso Visuals Deportivos. UTEP football is only 8 years from when they went 0-12. They went on to go 0-11 back-to-back. Winning takes time. Yes, all of El Paso wants the Miners to win, but we should not expect it. Yes, Liberty lost their starting quarterback, but they won the conference last year and have a lot of NIL money. To that point, El Paso Visuals Deportivos, they went 0-12, 1-11, and 1-11. And the fan base was at its end at that point. Like, let's not forget about that. We were here on MinerTalk during that 1-11 2019 season. They were not happy one bit. And 2020 rolled around, the pandemic-shortened season. There was flashes of solid play that year, but because of the shortened season, obviously couldn't get to the point they wanted. But let's not forget, 2017 to 2019, those are some dark years. And I think that's what maybe is triggering some of the fans who can remember that, and experience that is like, here we go again. It was a 7-6 season in 2021. It was a 5-win team in 2022. 23 rolls around, they win 3 games. Last year, they win 3 games. This year, they're 1-5 to start off the year. Just don't forget. Memo checks into the program. The Walden gimmick is up. No one is buying the high-flying offense. No one is buying our quarterbacks are good. I don't know which one to play. The jumping around, they're trying to play chess when they can't play chutes and ladders. Paso Visuals Deportivos with another one. We are a year and a half into the Scotty Walden era. That's it. Say that again, slowly. A year and a half. Why do we hype ourselves so much and act like we're Georgia and that we should be winning 10 games every year? Again, winning and building something takes time. Calma. No mamen, El Paso. There you go. Joe Chacon, scary stuff going on tonight. Got me thinking that the teams are looking at UTEP football like this. Hashtag Mountain West teams waiting for UTEP to join. Hashtag it's October. Hashtag scary bleep coming. Oh, man. Hashtag Albert Chuco. Gives a shout out to Alberto, who called in earlier on the program. Oh, man. We're just getting the hits today. Speaking of the hits, the first time he's calling all year long, UTEP News joining us here on the program. I would love to say his name because I know him personally, and he's a good person, despite what people might think of his social media. You know what? I'll say this, UTEP News. Gas is there. Like, you're putting the foot on the gas, and you're continuing right now in your displeasure in what you think of UTEP football. Is this because you had high expectations going into this year, my man?
You know what? I think plays a big part in it. I really would have put money on UTEP winning 6 games this year, but again, that's me every year. I always have high expectations. I don't know why. Just get disappointed every single year. Tonight I don't even know why I watched the game. I was at work. I watched the whole thing. The guys at work tell me that I'm crazy and that they don't know why I even, watch the games and whatnot. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I just want to say
do you
to
show
guys
them your
that,
engagement? Do you show them like, hey, look, like people care about what I have to say, and show them your phone?
Nah, I don't even really tell them, to be honestly. People are always like, oh, the negativity. But I mean, like, what? I feel like it's the only way to cope, really, because like we're really the bottom of the barrel. Like, if you really think about it, what other programs out there right now are talking about stuff like this or have gone through stuff that we've gone through? I don't know if there's any other programs out there that, like, we're special. We're special, man, for sure. And I just want to say, I love you guys. I love MinerTalk, and it's really the only thing I look forward to at the end of these games. You guys are doing a great job. And I can't believe it's freaking midnight right now, and we're definitely.
I can't believe it's midnight and you still care. So I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching it. I'm one of the 500 people watching it. I just decided to call in. I had a couple of things I wanted to say real quick. One thing is, everybody's like saying in the comments, oh, well, the defense did great. Well, to be honest, I don't really think they did that great. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks that, yeah, they held Liberty to 19 points, but I felt like the secondary was getting slashed on every single pass play. I don't think they had a sack. They didn't have a turnover. The defense never seems to be able to come up with these interceptions that are so close. They never seem to be trying to force fumbles or anything. I don't know if I'm the only one who notices that, but it seemed to me like the secondary was just getting slashed all night tonight. I don't know how Liberty only scored 19 points, but so I don't think the defense was all that today at all. And then going back to some of the tweets you just read right now, he said, yeah, it takes time, but it doesn't take time to beat a Southern Utah team. It doesn't take time to beat Louisiana Monroe. It shouldn't. We should be beating these teams, And even if we had 2 wins right now, I think we would be, pretty content. But 1-5 is just, I don't even think this team's going to win another game, I'll be honest with you.
There are people who agree with you. There are people who agree with that sentiment, UTEP News.
And I do apologize for, the negativity, but I just think it's
don't apologize. This is it. No, come on, man. You're a UTEP fan. You're allowed to voice your displeasures on social media, and just because more people follow your comments and they see your memes and stuff like that doesn't give any right for people to police what you say and what you don't. Like, it's what you feel. Like, I respect that right there, and I respect the fact that you want to vocalize your thoughts and put together these hilarious memes that are even grabbed by like people like FitFam. So like your account has grown tremendously, man. I got to give you a lot of props.
Oh, well, appreciate it, Adrian. I appreciate it. And trust me, if things were going good, we'd be seeing nothing but positivity, nothing but funny, happy memes. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So I got to result in making Drewski memes and stuff like that. So, but anyways, thanks for having me in, guys. You guys have a good night. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, appreciate it. UTEP News, Jordan. I almost dropped his name on accident, but UTEP News. You know, Zay, imagine if they won this game. Imagine if there was, 2 years ago, Conference USA Championship game, clincher, Liberty wins. They hire mariachis to party in the Sun Bowl South locker rooms, and they're celebrating. This was just 2 seasons ago. Liberty, by the way, all-time against UTEP 3-0, and that might be it. Like UTEP Liberty might never play another football game unless they play a bowl game or something. They're never playing non-conference unless some crazy stuff happens with athletic directors or they somehow join the Mountain West or some crazy stuff like that. Never, they're not going to play again, right? 3-0. Put the period there. They're not going to, and that's like a quote-unquote rival or whatever. But imagine UTEP on the flip side in an alternate world, an alternate reality. They won this game. And imagine if they had sent mariachis to the Liberty locker room. And in 2025, in another universe, this is like going viral on social media. It's a weeknight game, and you get a chance to beat a quote-unquote conference rival. I might be living in a delusional type of world by even saying that, but that could have been really cool if that would have happened in a hypothetical alternate world.
Yeah, hypothetically, if that would have happened, just hypothetically, that would have been great. But we can only imagine, man, like that song by the Temptations, it was just my imagination. Like that's all we can do. Sadly, that's what all UTEP fans have been doing for, the past. When was 1967? I don't know how long ago that was. I've lost count.
Almost 60 years.
Yeah, so for the last 58 years or so, last time UTEP won a bowl game, all UTEP fans can really do is imagine. So hypothetically, that would have been great, though. That would have been a genius. Whoever would have thought of that to send them there is hypothetically a genius.
There you go. I love the hypotheticals here on the program. 915-505-6009. If you want to weigh in, you want to follow up UTEP News, give us a call, 915-505-6009. Adrian at Enemy Win 3. When can we start the campaign for UTEP to join the Southland Conference? There were times that I laughed out loud and at some of the offensive plays that I saw. This is coming in from Joe Chacon. Why are you hating on my hashtags, bro? Oh, that's hilarious. Angel Torres checked in and said he was watching some Wednesday night football, so appreciate you. Angel Torres checking into the program, one of our Football Friday night reporters. More checking in on the program here on MinerTalk as we continue. 915-505-6009. Delusional Cade McConnell fan. Who's continuing to post. Boo, I don't want to watch this anymore. Neither Nelson or Locklear are Division I level quarterbacks, but we know who is. The legend Cade McConnell. Shardy Walden struck again and blatantly hates Cade. Fire this bum. UTEP will UTEP as usual. Hashtag MinerTalk. Hashtag Zay all the way. Hashtag Sal is my pal. Maybe it's Joe Chacon. That might be the burner right there.
Yeah, I mean the hashtags
are very
away.
similar. Yeah, you're giving them away, Joe.
Or this is like a ploy to kind of put the attention on Joe Chacon.
Over to Joe Chacon. I like what you're saying. Visuals Deportivos. To Keith from Canada. Enough with the Mountain West mentions. Yes, it's a great move, but the Mountain West Conference is going... the Mountain West Conference UTEP is going to is not the same Mountain West of today. They're losing Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Utah State. Stop overhyping the Mountain West and how great it is. Still better than CUSA, dude. Still better than this conference. I'm tired of watching on a Wednesday night Missouri State take on Middle Tennessee. I'm done. Like, I saw that weeknight Conference USA. It actually said weekday Conference USA on the field at the 50, which is actually wrong, right, Zay? It should be weeknight. I mean, we're not playing these at 1 o'clock for like a Chihuahuas day game or some baseball or something like that.
I didn't even notice it said weekday. Oh, that just made it so much. It was already bad. The fact that, I mean, I guess Miss Judy made the call in. That we gotta have that. But I didn't even realize it said weekday. Yeah, that is like inherently that's wrong. Just by all technicality.
Deportivos follows it up with not an excuse, but injuries isn't mentioned enough. Looking around the sidelines and it's starting to look like a medical wing of hospital players on wheels, crutches all around. I agree with that. I mean, they've had a lot of injuries. I would say this, though, Deportivos, notice who's hurt and who's not. Like, is it the starters or is it the two deep guys? And I'd say for the most part, you could say some of the starters have been injured and out, but others are still playing and others, are on the squad. So, and this team lauded their depth over the offseason. So I would side with you on that excuse. However, this team continuously told us over the offseason how deep they were and how much depth they had if any of their guys were to go down. So that was what happened earlier. Jorge Reyes, Keith from Canada is a moron. Unless he wants to donate $1 million to UTEP to get rid of Scotty, then do it. If he doesn't, then STFU. He is here to stay until his contract expires. No one can do anything about it unless they put up the money themselves. CSG_UTEP. Judging by the coach's decision tonight, I think Walden should play Nelson and Locklear in the first half. If they did nothing, then put in Shea, Cade, and Chad in the second half of Sam Houston to see if they can get them, the offense, a spark. Little Badger, yes, it's time to build a program. We need to see progress. We are seeing them get worse. I used to be optimistic, but this is ridiculous. Going back to the phone lines here, 915-505-6009. That's our telephone number. If you want to duck in a late night phone call, now is the time to do it. 915-505-6009. Leon is joining us next on the program. Oh, Leon, it's midnight. It's 12:15. It's a Wednesday. What are you doing awake?
Hey, good morning. The thing is I'm actually in Amarillo, so it's almost an hour ahead.
Wow, that's rough. That's rough, yeah. Leon. Thanks for hanging with us. What are you doing up so late?
I don't know. I know I don't know if I'm going to heaven, but I know one guy who is, and let's give a little bit of praise to John Teicher. I think that's the one guy that's going to heaven, and one of the few bright spots that we can say about UTEP sports. And I think I'm just going to say this, that, and I hope Jim Center is listening, man. Down the road, they hired a guy who I think we interviewed for the job 2 years ago, and that was a gentleman by the name of Jason Eck. And people say it takes time. Jason Eck is in his first year in New Mexico. Community's rallying around him, came up with a win at UCLA. Jim, I think you hired the wrong guy. I don't think this guy was ready for this, and I don't know what's going to happen the next 3 years. It's disappointing. I would really think that, Heather Wilson would take a look at this and figure out that we need a new AD. And that's where I'm at, man. I'm done with UTEP sports. And you won't hear from me until basketball. You guys have a good evening.
Wow, Leon, mic drop. Hopefully basketball can win you back. Hopefully the Miner basketball team, who was there tonight, by the way, and recognized, hopefully they can win you back. But until then, we won't hear from you. But appreciate your phone call here as we continue. 915-505-6009, our telephone number. 600 ESPN El Paso, Twitter and X, and 600 ESPNElPaso.com. We burned through all the phone calls. We've got all the comments. So now let's go to Inspo Lens. Chris with us right now with a lot of thoughts, okay? So get ready for this monologue. And this is what he says. Hot take, funny roast monologue. All right, Miner fans, this is from Chris. Who's producing the show on Inspo Lens and the reason why we're live on YouTube and Twitter and X. All right, Miner fans, I've seen a lot of UTEP games in my life, but I think tonight's 19-8 loss to Liberty might have actually violated some sort of law. That wasn't football. That was a performance art. Scotty Walden's offense, folks, I've seen parking meters show more movement. My man looks like he drinks 3 Bang Energies before kickoff, but somehow the offense still plays like it's on melatonin. Scotty Walden's offense looked like it was still downloading from the cloud. I mean, I've seen more motion at the DMV. Oh, that's a good one. At one point, I thought the offense was conserving energy for the winter. They punted so much. The punter got frequent flyer miles. By the way, Noah Botsford killed it tonight. He was definitely WeFence player of the night. UTEP's offense is bad, Chris continues. How bad? Whatever this offense is running, it's powered by dialed-up internet and pure confusion. Every drive looked like El Paso drivers on a Friday night. I've seen better drives leaving El Cometa after 2 a.m. The defense, solid effort, but they spent so much time on the field, they should start paying property tax at the 40-yard line. They've been on the field so long, they've been charging rent. They started charging rent at midfield. At what point, Chris continues, I swear UTEP's offense ran a play so slow that the 25-second clock filed for unemployment. And Coach Walden, bless him, he's got that energy, that fire, that motivational TED Talk energy. But the problem is the offense needs a football coach, not a podcast host. Trust the process, he says. Brother, this process is giving me trust issues. Will UTEP's offense show up, or will we just play duck, duck, punt again? Stay tuned, same time, same plane. Give me offense or give me liberty. Obviously, we gave them liberty. I love my Miners, I really do, says Chris. But right now, this offense could not light up a scoreboard if you gave them a box of matches and a can of gasoline. Next week, we'll see if UTEP can finally hit 200 yards of offense, or if we're just going to rename the playbook Punt and Pray. This is Miner Talk, where therapy costs nothing, but hope costs everything. Wow. Nice mic drop there, Chris. I like the end of that. I like the end of that one. This is Miner Talk, where therapy costs nothing, but hope costs everything. You know, I think our listeners, all the people with us have chimed in, done a great job. Let's go to our app. Ray. Nelson playing as a man among boys. He's too good for UTEP players and coaches. He needs to move on and play for a better university. This is from Poncho. When is Walden going to realize he's a not good offensive coordinator? No team is going to win a lot of games with 167 total yards of offense. This is coming in from JT Money, our pal, Jason Tafoya. I'm dying with that intro. Spooky times for Miner football with that funeral music that Sal played to start the show. Robert, UTEP looked flat coming out of the tunnel for the second half, kind of like they didn't even want to be there. Disappointed with the outcome, the crowd, and the play calling, coming from Robert here on our 600 ESPN El Paso mobile app as we continue. We had a couple YouTube chats from Alberto Reta, but he also chimed in with us here on the program, so I appreciate him. This is coming in from Mr. E. His play calling is trash, so we're entering the Mountain West under Walden. Good luck. Coming in from Mr. E, chiming in on YouTube, where we're live as well. I think we're starting to wind it down here, Zay, on the program. I don't feel good about this one. I don't feel good about the last 3 games here for UTEP in their 4-game losing streak. The loss against Texas was expected. I just thought they would pull away with 2 of the 3. Maybe that's optimistically thinking. I thought at least 1 out of 3. But to go 0 for 3, we kind of touched on that and said in an alternate reality what happens if UTEP goes 0 and 3. Is it possible UTEP loses out?
Oh man, this is a conversation. I don't want to have this conversation. I don't even want to put that into the world. Like, look, honestly, like there was points in this game. Like I think I said it earlier. Like I was genuinely like just bored. I've never been bored at a UTEP game like ever. I was genuinely bored at points in this game, and I'll be the first to say it. With a minute left, I put my camera down, and I decided, bro, I'm starving. And I know this offense is not going to do anything with the ball going into half. And I got a head start, and I got some tacos, and I was proven right. I come back out with my 4 tacos. It cost me $15, by the way. They're not bad tacos by any means, but they're 4 extremely small tacos for $15. I almost go broke trying to feed myself here at UTEP. So I walk back out, and I see like the worst Hail Mary play ever. He almost scored. It was almost a touchdown for Liberty, not UTEP.
I was saying the same thing in the press box. I was like, wait a second, watch him return this back.
No, seriously. So I was like, I'm glad I did that. Finished the tacos in like 3 minutes because, like I said, they're a little too small for my liking. And, it went back down to the field, and it was just much of the same in the second half. There's no real adjustments made offensively, and that was real frustrating to me. I think every time that, UTEP ran it up the middle for a yard, a part of me kind of just died because it was just so hard to watch. It was so hard to watch. And I'm going on this rant. I can't match the puns that our guy Inspo Lens did. Those were great. But I can say that this team was just absolutely disappointing in this 3-game stretch. We were talking about an alternate reality where they go 0-3 because I don't think either of us truly believed that would happen. But here we are. UTEP went 0-3 in this stretch. They're 1-5 overall. And I think, yeah, I mean, we're halfway through the year. I think it's a proper time to kind of bring up the fact that if UTEP does go 1-11, what happens next? Like, will we see decommitments from this class? Will we see a mass exodus from the past 2 classes? Will we see, who will be held accountable? What assistants might, get the boot out of here if that happens? Because, I can assure you this UTEP fan base is very passionate. Scotty Walden said he likes how passionate they are. They start booing how bad this offense is, but he's not going to like it when everybody's breathing down your throat to make some sort of move in this offseason when you end up going 1-11 if that's the case. So I don't know what to I don't want to think it's a possibility, but it really is now, right? Because the way that they've played, it don't look like they can beat anybody. Like, if you put this team right now, throwing back a month into that UT Martin game, I don't think this team beats UT Martin versus this version of the team versus that version then.
Coming in from Carlos Martinez, I have a serious question. I hear over and over that UTEP needs to invest more in their coaches and their program after every loss. How is this even achieved? When you're only getting 9,000 fans attending, charging $25 for parking, businesses have tapped out too. The university is always start ticket price high, and they change more and more they charge more and more for parking. Why not start low and lower parking prices to get butts in the seats as the crowd grows and hopefully the teams improve, then raise the prices as the product gets better? From Chris Banks, 21. We go through this every year, but it just seems to get worse and worse. It's a shame that the only positive thing going for us every year is our beautiful Sun Bowl Stadium. It's the only thing UTEP has to offer. By the way, basketball will be just as bad this year. Oh, man. We're just getting it piled on. And Chris Banks, what are you doing awake, man? I know you're also in the Central Time Zone. Go to sleep, dude. You have better things to do than tweet the show here at 1:24 in the morning your time, 12:24 a.m. our time here in El Paso. But, yeah, it's almost half past midnight. We're continuing Miner Talk, presented by Jack in the Box, thinking way outside the box and open 24/7 because cravings don't have a curfew. I got a couple final points to bring up, and I got one final stat that's going to probably blow a lot of people's minds. Helmets, in or out, Zay?
Oh, yeah, I'm in. I don't know how some people were out. I think this was a great uniform matchup. Don't want to spend too much time on it because I hate giving Adidas props. So, yeah, I think the helmets were great. I think the uniforms were great. I love the blue, white, and still got blown out in the uniform game, though, against Liberty. I mean, their uniforms. Look, they're. I'll be honest. Like, I know I'm supposed to be, like, somewhat partial on this, but I don't like Liberty. Like, as a university, I can't stand them. Especially basketball. I think I have a real hatred for their program basketball, but you know what? Football can get some of it too, just because of the mariachi incident a couple years ago and beating up Pater Pete. But I do have to admit those uniforms, man. That Irvin High School needs to just take that template and use it because oh my goodness, those are beautiful.
Caden Matheny right around the corner. He's coming.
Oh no. So that's worse. I rather watch this game 100 times than watch Caden Matheny drain like a 3 with a second left on the shot clock.
And smile at his bench while you're sitting right there. Yeah, exactly. 3 out of the last 6 games for the Miners under 100 rushing yards. It's a bad stat. It's a bad stat to bring up. And don't like that one whatsoever. Mascot race. That was one of the highlights today, other than our boy Michael Barker shining a nice light on the Sun Bowl Stadium, showing all the great views at the Sun Bowl as well and college football campus tour. But the mascot race was a lot of fun. Shout out to Hanks Knights, who ended up winning that one.
That was – put me in the mascot. I'm winning the mascot race, guys. Come on now. No, there was somebody who started all the way in the back, purposely. And it was I don't even know what it was. I don't know what mascot it was. And he should have won. He He starts at the line with everybody else. He's blowing Mr. Hanks Knight out the water. And there was some, I don't know. There were some mascots that, come on, show some effort, guys. Let's put some pep in our step, Chico. Oh. I know everybody saw it. I love Chico. But come on, man. What was that? That was a bad performance. But I do think maybe the Hanks Knight, put him at running back.
There you go. Abel's going to join us to close out the show on Miner Talk. Abel, good evening, man. What's up?
I'm scared for you guys.
Me too.
You guys are talking about the mascot race.
Yeah,
And
it's half.
like
I'm scared
after
for us
midnight.
too because we've got to go to work. We both have work and paying jobs, and Zay's got morning school tomorrow at UTEP, and I've got to be here for a staff meeting at 8 in the morning. So
Oh,
yeah,
there
I'm
you go,
scared too, man.
But you know what? You're dedicated, man. You got the sports bug in you, and that's what I like about you. Ever since I first met you in the basement of my house.
That
You
sounds
remember
so
that?
scary, Abel. Like, can you say something like when we used to work for Town Talk Sports or something instead of the basement of my house to grab equipment from me? Like, come on, man.
But okay, so I'm calling you from SoCal, okay? I'm in California right now, and I said I got to listen to sports talk, and man, I'm glad I did because I will tell you, regular fans, par for the course, and it's sad to say that, but reality eventually, I'm 67 now, and I've been, around the program, and you guys know I run the Mineros en Español page, but
shout out.
It's just hard to smile when you can't even smile. I mean, God, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's one thing to be a coach that is so fired up, but it's not rubbing off on anybody. I feel you know what you talked about the portal. Oh my God, you're gonna have to take a ticket to get in that line because you tell me how would you feel as a player? With all the hype and all the beautiful videos that come out, and make it look like a bad looking, bad A team, don't want to cuss. And yet you show up and man, rushing for 1 or 2 yards of play, things like that. It's for us older fans, for me, it's par for the course.
Hear you, Abel. Appreciate you. Appreciate Mineros de Español. Say it again. Wait, Mineros de what? I'm sorry,
Mineros
man.
en Español.
Mineros en Español. Thank you, my man.
Yes.
I appreciate
Go
you
like
joining
the page,
us,
man. So you can follow me.
I like the page, dude. I like the page. I just got the name wrong, so I appreciate you as always. You said
no
sports
problem, man.
talk. You said sports talk. This is Minor Talk. I got to give you a little jab there.
Minor times. You got to understand, man, my history with KROD, man. I go all the way back to the brick cell phones.
There you go, Abel. I love it, man. Football Friday night on some brick cell phones, Zay. Make it happen, dude. That's the real. That's Paul McKinnon throwing it back. Some Football Friday night.
Oh my gosh, taking stats on a paper and a pad. Oh my goodness.
No Excel spreadsheet.
That is a nightmare for me. That I can't imagine that. You know what? Props to anybody. Props to wow. I don't even think of that. It's 12:30 a.m. and I'm gonna be thinking of that all night because I would not be able to keep up with. Like if you give me a paper and a pencil and try to keep up with, Ernie Powers' touchdowns or Ryan Estrada or Franklin's. Oh my, I don't know.
Yeah,
not even gonna open that box.
I'm totally with you. Guys, I think this is a great way to end this the show. I will say this, the final thing that I will say. When you look at the NCAA Division I FBS football win-loss records for every team out there in existence, okay? UTEP, Kent State, and New Mexico State have all three played over 100 years of football. UTEP 108, Kent State 103, New Mexico State 129 years of college football. In terms of the worst win-loss percentage, okay? Worst win-loss percentage, right? UTEP right now is all-time a .394, okay? 394. So 39% win percentage over their 100-plus years of football. Kent State, 37%. New Mexico State, 40%. UTEP is right in between there as one of the worst historic programs in terms of win-loss percentage ever. So we had a caller a long time ago here on the program say, well, this history for UTEP and bringing up some of the history. This is one of the worst football programs out there, and fans still care this much. Fans still want a winner. Fans still are cheering for the underdog. Fans are still showing up and care about this UTEP football team. And I think they're just starved for a winner. They're so hungry to support a winning program at UTEP. They bought into all the excitement in year 2 of Scotty Walden. They bought into this team and the hype that came in with having a 5-star quarterback and, all that came with that. And, at the same time, they have done a good job in certain areas to really elevate their brand, their exposure, their videos, like, even Abel was saying to a small degree, right? They've done all the right things. They're just not winning. And at the end of the day, this town is only going to support a winner. They need UTEP to win in order to justify getting more butts in the seats. They'll pay the $15 tacos. They'll pay the $25 parking. But you got to bring a winner. And to be one of the bottom 10 teams right now, active teams in FBS win-loss percentage, bottom of that barrel right there. That's not a good recipe for any type of success. And I don't know what the next 100 years bring for UTEP football, but I hope they can put away the last 100 years and start fresh. Like, I just want to write all the history off and say, can they hit the reset button off this win percentage right here? Because that's atrocious.
It is atrocious. And look, I think you said it perfectly. It's 12:34 on a Thursday. It's now Thursday. It's a weekday coming off this UTEP game, and we still have people calling in, right? Abel just called in. We've had plenty of callers these last 30 minutes into the new 24, into this new day, I guess I should say. And I mean, it just goes to show, right? This community, like you said, they're starving for a winner, and I think now more than ever. I mean, that student section was still decent. It wasn't even a bad student set. It was a Wednesday game for a team that's only won one game. They haven't beaten an FBS opponent yet students are still coming out, and people are taking advantage of the 50% off the ticket. There's still fans in the seats. There's still people who want to see this program succeed. And even if they didn't come to the game, they were definitely watching at home, hoping for the best, expecting the worst, and that's kind of what you have to do as a UTEP fan, right? That's kind of what you kind of have to put your feelings behind you. And I know some people will get caught up in it, right? If UTEP wins a game, I'm definitely one of them, right? UTEP wins a game, you think they're going to win every game after that. But the truth of the matter is like you said, they're one of the worst teams historically, even statistically. They're one of the worst teams ever in college football. Yet they still have a passionate fan base, and I think that says something, right? That says something. This town deserves a winner, and they'll get one, whether it's in 40 years, 30, it'll happen. But you just, I guess, have to sit and wait.
And like one of our other listeners had chimed in, maybe next year, because I don't see it here in 2025. Special thanks to Sal Montes. Special thanks to Zay Galindo. Special thanks to Andy Inostroza. Special thanks to Chris. Inspo Lens has been live this entire time. We have 600 people now watching us right now, almost 650 right here. And we couldn't do it without Chris, who's stuck with us here until the wee hours. It's not just me and Zay here on the program. Chris has been with us this entire night, and really appreciate him setting everything up and allowing us to go live for this other platform. People sending me pictures saying we're watching you guys in bed. We're still watching right now, and that means a lot. So appreciate everybody right there. Appreciate all our sponsors as well. Big shout out to our presenting sponsor, Jack in the Box. Shout out to Boomy Dental, Thomas Adams Apparel, 915 Tours, New Start Homes, and then, of course, the District Pub and Kitchen West. For Zay, for Chris, I'm Adrian. We're signing off. We're done. We're done for tonight, and we'll be back at it next Wednesday for another edition of Conference USA Weeknight Football on Miner Talk, presented by Jack in the Box. We're done here tonight on 600 ESPN El Paso.